Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Hinter, welcome back to the channel, and we've got a few different little tidbits of info about Charon so far. I believe there's going to be patch notes for him next Thursday, and then it'll be dropping the Tuesday after that. I think as a timeline, it's going to be July 11th when he drops. So yeah, I think 2 weeks on Tuesdays when he's going to drop. We're going to get patch notes next Thursday, so we'll get a lot more info on in there. They might also do a closer look post. They usually do one of those where they go into like a bit more insight on like how the character's going to work, like one day before patch notes. If that comes out on like the Wednesday or the Tuesday, I'll cover that as well. But we've got a bunch of info on him already here from like teasers and stuff. We've got this video, of course, that I've got in the background that probably many of you have seen. I'm quite late to covering this, to be honest. I was streaming last night when it dropped, and then I went straight to bed. But we've got this, we've got some info on Twitter, we've got some data mining stuff as well. So I just thought I'd go over everything, do like a news roundup, because I know everyone's pretty hyped for this character, myself included. So I just thought I'd kind of go over everything we know about Charon so far in like one video. And of course, the major juicy bit of info we have is this 4-minute 30 video of like behind the scenes development for Charon. We learn a decent bit here. It's like, it is a behind the scenes video, so we don't learn lots of kit info, but we do see a couple of abilities and we see his model and stuff like that. So let's just jump right in.
Wayward souls, hearken, for I will guide you.
So we get a little bit on his voice as well. We kind of knew that already, though. We had a
Charon is
teaser
a really
a while back.
interesting character because he is a deity of ages long past. He is, of course, the ferryman of the underworld in Greek
That looks like his
mythos.
recolor, probably.
It's
Could
a
be his
guide
default model,
for
but it
the
looks like a
souls of the
recolor.
dead. They used to bury the dead with one coin in their mouth to pay their toll to Charon.
Being able to pay the toll will allow you
Yeah, that's cool, dude. I like that lore aspect. Like, they will bury them with one coin specifically. It's like how Charon's coin, you know, when it flips, you get 1 gold. It's like just cool little lore tidbits there.
to pass go off to the underworld, enjoy the rest of your afterlife.
I think he's always been like really
Okay, so we have a bunch of different designs here. This is normally the kind of stuff they show in the like behind the scenes posts that they do on smitegame.com. So maybe they won't do that this time and they've done this video instead. But yeah, we have a bunch of different designs here. Where he's looking a little bit more golden, a little bit more grey, different like colored soul candles and stuff. These all look sick in my opinion. I think his visual design is awesome.
requested. When you think Underworld, you think Hades, you think Charon.
Well, the first thing that we do in our design process is we
So we've got a little bit of a size comparison here, I guess. So he's going to be bigger than Maui, bigger than Anubis, but not like absolutely huge. Probably smaller than Surtur, I would think.
kind of go through the themes of the character and then do some research on their lore and their mythos.
Okay, what should this
Yeah,
god
so that's
do?
his
We
in-game
have all
model right
this
there, which
idea of
in my opinion looks really
we
good.
have all
Because that looks like it's rendered in-game. That's not any kind of, like, cinematic cutscene. He's on, like, a map there, so... That looks pretty good for an in-game model, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Normally, the in-game models suffer a lot in comparison to card art and, like, cinematics and stuff. Obviously, cinematics are gonna look better, but generally, like, the in-game models look a bit like Play-Doh compared to, like, the card arts and stuff. But this in-game model looks good, dude.
What should this god do? We have all this idea of who the god is, what it's gonna be, and like we've got mood boards of this is what we kind of want the god to look like.
Typically, when you hear about
Yeah, so a bunch of different designs here, dude. They go into a little bit more in the video, but, like, in the lore, Charon's kind of depicted as, like, a frail old man, whereas, like, they're going for, like, because he's going to be a guardian, we know that now, he's going to be a tank, so they went for a little bit more of a bulky design in Smite instead of this kind of stuff, but they clearly flirted with some ideas of, like, going with a little bit more ghostly, a little bit more spectral, maybe, a little bit more, like, decrepit
He's
in
usually
this one up here.
frail, old, decrepit man who's guiding a boat along. We definitely wanted to give him some of those spooky death vibes, but we also wanted to kind of shift up the narrative a little bit on what Charon
Yeah, it
could
looks real
be.
good in
So
game.
We wanted to make him feel
Yeah, this is that cinematic
unique
we
as a
saw
Smite
already.
character.
Weaving a god's lore into their effects is something that we kind of get to do uniquely on Smite that other games don't really get to do.
He was always very stoic and very
Aha.
sort of stiff. We had to try
So
to
yeah, we
find-
have a little bit of a... I assume this is going to be
he was
his
always very
default, like,
stoic
movement
and
animation.
very sort of stiff. We had to try
So we know he's going to be on the boat now from this video. We know he's going to be permanently on the boat. It's not going to be like an ultimate thing or anything like that. His model is the boat. His boat is included in the base model by the looks of things. And so he's going to be like going around on
find
that.
ways to break him out of that sort of character every now and then. You'll see a couple of animations where we were able to kind of show a little bit more personality with him.
Charon has a couple of like elements that make him really
He's got a
unique
little
as
minion on his
character,
boat.
whether that's the boat, water, death, soul, spirits. Figuring out where those pieces lay really
And yeah,
helps
that's his
figure
basic
out
attacks.
what kind of
Which looks
theming
sick in my opinion, dude.
really help.
Yeah, look at those
figure
basics, man.
out what
He like hits
kind
like
of
the water with his staff and like
theming,
souls
what
come out.
Kind of visuals that we
Yeah, that looks really good, dude. The basic attacks look solid. He is going to be a ranged basic attacker. In the data mining, it kind of said this. The data mining depicted him as a mage, but I think that is probably... let's go to the data mining real quick. Yeah, you can see here it depicted him as a mage with high area damage, magical ranged, and then Morgan Le Fay uses a template and a few things from Anna. So I'm guessing they just thought he was a mage based on high area damage and magical ranged. We'll see a little bit later in this video that he does seem to have a lot of area abilities that I assume will deal damage, and he is magical ranged. But it turns out he's actually going to be a guardian. He's just going to have range basic attacks and like quite high AoE. In terms of Morgan Le Fay being used as a template, we do see a lot of like waves in his abilities. Could be that Morgan Le Fay's 2 was being used a little bit for that, because Dragonflight, like, it kind of sweeps forward as a hitbox, and you could probably use that to, like, develop wave hitboxes, I imagine. In terms of things from Anher, I don't really know. Maybe you create some kind of structures, but we don't see anything about that in the video.
Needed to plant in these different spots.
So, that must be his recall, then, the red one. So, like, the purple one is probably his default, and then...
Very early on, felt kind of right at home with the rest of the roster. I think he fits his role very well, which is awesome.
Regardless of whether he's on his boat all the time or like his ultimate is some kind of boat thing, the boat was always going to be there.
So that's that wave. I'm pretty sure that's the ultimate.
What kind of animations is he gonna need? What kind of effects is he gonna need? How is
they're only in a dev environment here, but
was
that looks to go
unique.
pretty
He
damn
had
far.
to
Does it
pretty
show
much
it
do
again?
everything.
It doesn't.
The
Let's
boat
go
was
back.
whether he's on his boat or like his ultimate is some kind of boat thing. The boat
Yeah, so look
was
at that. Look how
always
far that's
gonna be
going.
there.
So how do we actually do this within scope? What kind of
That could just be a
animations-
straight up cross map ability, like it never stops, or maybe it only stops if it hits a wall or something like that. But yeah, that had insane range, even in that test environment. If you compare it to like how big Charon is himself, that wave is going far, dude. That wave's going far. It might be like Atlas Soul style or something.
Is he gonna need? What kind of effects is he gonna need? How is modeling gonna handle this?
He was definitely unique because he had to pretty much do everything from that boat, but we had to make sure that his animations were consistent from one to the next. As far as like just the general sway of the boat, you know, the ebb and flow of how it's...
So yeah, that is what it
bobs
looks like is going to
down
be
the
his
water.
3.
The
They
souls
said in
in
the
the
data
water
mining is going to be a movement speed buff, and it looks like
you know,
that is
ebb
going to
and
be his main
flow of
movement
how
ability.
it
Probably his
kind of
3.
bobs
Movement
up
abilities
and down
usually
the
are the
water.
3.
The souls.
That could also increase ally movement speed, maybe. He is a guardian, so, you know, maybe people that are near him, it's a little bit like an Atlas Dash or something, where you can increase the movement speed of
ebb and
allies
flow
that
of
are
how
also
it kind of
nearby.
bobs up and down in the water.
The souls in the water and the river Styx is kind of like the big thing we could pull from. So when you're looking at that ultimate wave, if you look closely, you're going to notice there's a river of souls running through it. And anywhere you look in the kit, little souls going around the boat.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
looks
look
sick,
into
dude.
the water, you'll be able to catch some neat and fine-tuned stuff that Andrew was able to get in there.
Everybody who's working on it is very passionate about making sure that we're bringing new experiences into the game. And,
Yeah, that's his
and
3 again.
constantly
You
kind of
can see it goes
evolving
quite far.
The foundation that we currently have.
Okay, do we get to
Takes
see
a
like
lot
the
of,
full
you know, a lot of
ultimate
work,
here?
a lot of
Okay,
dedication,
they cut it
but,
off, but it looks like it's going to
definitely
go really far.
Proud of everybody who's working on it, and ultimately we all hope that everybody's enjoying it and having fun.
Our teams really did a
Oh, yeah, look at the
fantastic
size of
job
him
in
compared to
working through
Hercules,
those
man. Oh my
problems
God.
And coming up with really, really cool solutions to them.
Yeah, because his base model was like just a little bit bigger than Maui, but he's also stood on top of the boat, and the boat is large as well, so.
We just hope you guys enjoy them, and we had a lot of fun working on them, and hopefully you'll have fun playing.
I'm really excited for you guys to get a hand on him. The team and Andrew specifically worked super hard getting him working and putting a lot of love into his effects. So I hope that you guys like him as much as we do.
I really hope people.
Yeah,
enjoy
visually
it,
looks really
honestly.
good. We'll have to see. We don't have like
Really
much
cool,
key information so
spooky
far, but.
skeleton man, and I hope everybody resonates with that.
You know, there's some times where you're kind of working on a character and you don't quite know if the flow is going to work. But I think with Charon very early, he had pretty wide reception, and the flow
What's
for
this
the character
environment?
was really good.
That looks really cool.
Definitely proud of Lermy and Nate for really driving that home.
I think that a lot of players are really going to enjoy being able
Oh,
to
so
kind of
that
zoom
looks like probably what's going to be his custom recolor maybe from the year 10 pass potentially. Doesn't really look like a golden skin though. It's probably his recolor from
because he
the
really
year
is
10
focused
pass.
on a lot of that mobility, moving the souls around, as you might say. So I'm hoping to see
Yeah, so
some
high
really
mobility,
cool
it sounds
clips of
like.
you guys playing him, and I hope that you enjoy him.
Yeah, so arriving July 11th. So 2 weeks on Tuesday, or I think it's Tuesday that they do patches. We're gonna be getting Charon. And so that's the major bit of news, but we do have some other things. We have a little interview here with Lermy that Xbox did, with a little bit more information on like the design process and stuff behind Charon. So yeah, we all know Lermy's the dev on the game. She's worked on Yu Huang, Ishtar, and Matikora specifically. Those were like her gods. So let's dive right into Charon, the latest addition to the roster. Can you tell us a bit about the inspiration behind the character? So, Charon is an intriguing character rooted deeply in mythology. As the ferryman of the underworld, he predates Hades and holds the responsibility of managing souls to the afterlife. Bringing the son of Nyx, or Nox as some may know her, Charon ensures everything is in order within the realm of the underworld, mainly on his boat. Using the 5 rivers of the underworld, I didn't know about that, that's cool, he'll guide the souls to the afterlife as long as they pay the toll, otherwise they remain in the Styx. After the release of Maui, our previous Guardian character, we wanted to offer a different experience to players. Maui is quite showy, definitely check out his cinematic if you haven't had the chance, it is very cool. But with Charon, we aim for a true neutral character. Charon embodies the concept of carrying out his daily duties in a balanced manner. He wants to clock into his job, put in the hours, and then clock out. It was time we brought Charon, a highly requested character, into the game, especially since the community's interest grew significantly over time. Yeah, this was a very highly requested god, man. A lot of people wanted Charon in the game. They also mentioned in the video, like, there was a really old data mining post around the time of Chiron's release, and it misspelled it as Charon, and everyone thought Charon was coming back in like season 2 or 3 whenever Chiron was released, and we didn't get him, but now we do, and he looks really sick. So could you walk us through the stages of bringing Charon to life in Smite? Certainly. It all starts with exploring the character's themes. We gather various departments, provide them with a brief on our character traits and discuss potential concerns. Then we dive into creating the character's kit, which can be quite challenging. We usually develop 3 different kits to explore different directions for the character, and eventually we narrow it down to a more promising kit. Once we have that final kit, we present it to the leads of all the departments for approval, and once signed off, the team begins working on bringing the god to life. So that's cool. Interesting little bit of insider information there, you know, on how they work on these gods. They usually develop 3 different kits that probably explore like different directions. You know, if they wanted him to maybe be more of like an aggressive bruiser guardian, a really supportive guardian, potentially even a mage kit or something like that. And so they bring like a few different kits there, and they kind of like all discuss them and narrow them down into like what they think is going to be the best overall design, and then they go with that and like make it more in depth. Balancing Charon's design was indeed an exciting task. Typically, Charon is depicted as a frail and decrepit man in other media, but we wanted to give him a distinct appearance in Smite. We decided to make him skeletal, a characteristic we haven't explored before. Yeah, that looks really sick in my opinion. Additionally, we made him bulky, resembling a Lich Lord, while ensuring he felt like a part of the Underworld family alongside Hades and Persephone. And of course, we couldn't overlook the bow. It's an integral part of Charon's identity, absolutely. Charon is a really unique tank, and I think players will be really excited to see him zooming on the map and moving souls around. So yeah, another reference to the fact that he's probably going to be quite high mobility by the looks of it. You know, maybe that ultimate can be something to do with mobility. We've seen what's probably his 3 as well, a movement ability where he like starts pedaling like crazy with his oars and then like zooms around. Could buff allies' movement speed maybe or something like that. And then we haven't seen all of his stuff yet, and since they were using Anher, I think potentially he could create a structure of some kind. That would be quite cool as well. We've got this little GIF that they shared on Twitter as well. Nothing too much here, but just a little bit of like showing the river Styx. Maybe Smite Car 2.0, boys, where you're racing down the river Styx on Charon's boat instead. That'd be pretty fucking funny in my opinion. And then yeah, we've already kind of mostly gone over what the data mining was showing. This is quite old at this point. I've already covered it in previous data mining videos, but I just wanted to mention because there's a little bit of kit info here in terms of high area damage, magical range, movement speed buff, and then some gods that we use as a template for him. Yeah, but that's all I've got for Charon. Just wanted to do a little bit of a news roundup on all the stuff we know about him so far. And yeah, a little bit of insider information there. It's possible we still get a behind-the-scenes like dev post one day prior to patch notes like they usually do. If that comes out, I'll be covering that on drop, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll get that to you as fast as possible because I'm very excited for this release, as I'm sure many of you guys are as well. But yeah, that's all we have for Charon so far. I just wanted to do a little roundup and kind of cover everything we know about him in one video, so you don't have to go exploring around the recesses of the internet trying to find all the information about it. You can just come here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did, and I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.